Huh. Hi everyone, I am Tara, aka Spirit Mother, and I'd like to welcome you all back to my channel on YouTube. I'm the Spirit to Spirit Teachings of Going Within Self on TikTok 1974 Enlightened Soul, and I'm also live on my Facebook. If you're new to my channel, I usually recommend or suggest that people go read the description in my YouTube channel to get a better understanding of what my channel uh, brings forward and what have you. And it can go anywhere. It may start off in one place and just end up in a whole other place because I do a spirit to spirit, and it's whatever comes forward. Today I chose to talk about Wi-Fi, internet, and like data and what have you. And the reason why I chose to talk about that is because I pay we pay a monthly bill to get data and to be able to use our cell phones to text or call people. Uh, it frustrates me because a lot of the time when I use my cell phone to call people, I'm trying to call and it says about network not available or mobile network not available. And it's like, what? So you can't call anyone and you can't text anyone and you can't use your data. And it's like, okay, I'm paying this amount of money every month, but I can't use it because it's always saying like you're out of the service, like you can't get service. And it's that part you're paying high prices. And see, the thing is, I live right across the road from a belt, like one of the state, like the station, the building is right across the road from me. And then there's like towers nearby, and people say that these towers are for you to be able to get cell service, to be able to get data, but others will say, oh, well, you're not able to get, sorry, I just noticed them. You're not able to get data because, oh, well, there's so many people that have cell phones and what have you. It's like, no, because give me a second. I should have had it with me, but I'll go grab it. Sorry about that. Okay. I had a phone from Walmart. Okay, it was like a $200 phone, and I was on Tigo prepaid, and my calls were never dropped. In spaces where most people couldn't get access to the internet with these new S24s and what have you. Ever since I got one of them, my calls have always been dropped, or it's saying that I can't get internet service, or I don't have data, or I'm getting this or that. And I had this earphone. It was another, excuse me, information, another cheap phone. But every time, like since I switched over to a plan and off my Kudo prepaid and over to these $2,000 phones, I didn't pay $2,000 for the phone. I didn't, like I had somebody bought it for me $300, you know. I like my cheap phones better because I had better access. A lot of people, like you're saying about like drop calls and no data and what have you, and like these big corporations and stuff like that, and others that they're part of it. They'll say that these cell towers are causing interference. But from what I've been experiencing, you can be right at a cell tower, or I've even been right in the middle of the city and not able to get any data, not able to make a phone call, but they're paying these extraordinary prices. So it's, and I can feel that like there's someone trying to silence me and shut me up. It's like, but it's like I'm not the only one that has voiced this because I can see why. Like a lot of people, like if somebody was to destroy a cell tower, okay, they say that was terrorism. Well, I was reading an article because I was looking to see about what interference these cell towers have with regards to people and interference, being able to use data or phone calls or texting or what have you. A lot of people say, "Oh, well, that don't cause a problem." But do you know that, like, if you look back before they had all these cell towers, okay, people didn't have a problem with their cell phone. I just felt that. It's like sit back and think about it. You know, we're manipulated. These people say that, oh no, it doesn't do this, it doesn't do that. It emits a frequency. Everything has a frequency, and these emit a very high pitched frequency that can actually drive people insane. It creates a imbalance within the body. But they say, oh no, it doesn't do that. Look, it doesn't. I'm going to read an article here in a minute because like you say about the news and stuff like that. Right? But see, there's a lot of stuff that's not in your mainstream media that you have to fish for. Right? And in Canada, people are not allowed to post the news. I wonder why. Because I don't really wonder. It's a part of they want to censor it because they know that most people only see what you watch on your TV for those few minutes of increments. Because most people they take that as the gospel and what have you, but they don't show the rest of it. I found an article in British Columbia, okay, had to do with a recording studio. And that recording studio was saying about like a Rogers cell tower was right close to the studio, and it was causing an interference. It was causing a high pitch. Okay, I want people to think of dog whistles. Yeah, I'm in a different spot. I have a few different spots all around my house, certain places that sit and have you. Um, the interference. It's a dog whistle. It's a dog whistle. Okay, it said that it's so high that only dogs can hear it. And humans can't. I'm not a dog, but I can hear it because I can hear on that frequency. Okay, because when I was younger, I was somewhere and I heard this high pitch, and I hollered out like, "What are you guys doing?" And they started laughing. I'm like, "You hear that?" It's like, "Hear what?" I just know whatever you're doing, it's like irritating. And they said about it being a dog whistle. So they were checking to see if I was right. I went back in the room, and then all of a sudden I heard it was so freaking high. It's like nauseating. It's enough to drive you crazy. And it's like, will you guys stop doing that? These are how They get you. They administer extremely high frequencies that, like I said, it causes an imbalance within the body. It causes, I even was reading about like the uh, parts where it would cause disruption if there's too many in the same vicinity. But they don't put that out there for the people. They'll just say, oh, well, they're conspiracy theorists, or, they're just causing problems. No, people are speaking truth. It's administered through your phone, your computer, your televisions. It even comes through your radios, even in your car. Why do you think they made everything electronic? Because it's not the proper technology. It's a manipulated 1111 on the timer, as I just said that. It's a manipulation to cause a disruption. I can't pronounce all this shit, man. It disrupts the brain. Okay, it causes that, like a lot of people say about autism. Okay, I will say it, autism. Okay, in my opinion of what I've observed from others, because of the way they react to certain things or too much noise or what have you, it's like shut up. Okay, autism to me represents autosensitive, which these ones in considered to be like racist. Oh no, that's not what's going on. It's in the brain. Well, it's in the brain. It's not anything to do with mental audio, because they're hearing so many different frequencies. Have you ever sat down, like sat quiet, and actually heard the electricity going through your home, or sat outside and hear the disruption of the electricity going through the wires? Because this stuff they're putting there and they're saying, well, you need, no, you don't. Seriously, you don't. Because there's always electrical frequencies going throughout the universe, going throughout the air. If you ever followed Nikola Tesla, they'd say, oh, well, he was a mad scientist. No, he was actually extremely enlightened and knew what was happening. And what he was trying to do was he was trying to bring about free energy. Free energy is there, but they're going to tell you, no, you got to pay like shit piles of money because we got to fix all this wiring. There was a movie. Um, oh gosh, I forget his name. But if you've ever watched um, Utopia, it was a series on Prime, Utopia. The guy who plays in that is like said to be the doctor, much like Bill Gates. Like, yeah, how did Bill Gates go from doing Microsoft, Bill Gates, Microsoft, and then a lot of people are talking about what's in the, I'm going to say the word because, everybody said, oh, that's so boo, vaccines, people see it that way. And like, it's, It's things that, because I know when I got the vaccine, I got one, and I said I was getting it. I was getting it for people because there was so much talk about it. And then I thought my ex-husband was ill from it. And, people would say, like, you can't be here. Like, I don't want you here if you're not getting the vaccine. Well, that's not love. If you're going to disown your family, you're going to kick your family away because you didn't get the vaccine. Shake your head. Seriously. Am I judging you on that? Well, it's not so much judging as in saying, really? If you're going to disown a family member, or you're going to let something like that getting between when it said, like, how is somebody else getting the vaccine helping you? It's the vaccine is to protect you, right? Same as the mask is to protect you. But people were bullying each other into it. People were losing their jobs because of it. It's the part of what frequency can do to manipulate the brain. Sound frequency, vibration, it works on both scales. So, Amarita, nilisikat ishtusan, ikrutaturi, ore, like it's all about control. If you can control the frequency, you can control the people, right? A lot of people they won't believe that because it's like, oh, they don't do that. You know, I'm not being rude about it, but I'm saying, think about it. Seriously, people literally go crazy because of high pitched sounds, and they know that it causes a disease in the body, but it can also have a healing, depending on what frequency they're using. And there's a lot of people that follow this and totally understand it. Here's the article, British Columbia. I can't share this to my Facebook because, when you're in Canada, you can't share anything. So, recording studio plagued by interference from Rogers cell tower running out of options, clients. Despite the interference, investigations found Rogers is operating within the license parameters. See, like sometimes we even have trouble pronouncing words. It doesn't mean I'm stupid. A Vancouver recording studio says it has suffered from booking cancellations and lost contracts as a result of interference from a nearby cell tower owned by Rogers Communications. A third-party investigation has confirmed that interference is being generated by a cell tower owned by the telecommunications and media company. The tower sits atop a building next to Armory Studios, which for more than 2 decades has recorded albums for world-famous acts, including rock band AC/DC and singer-songwriter Sarah McLachlan. To me, that doesn't mean I'm on to. Despite attempts to fix the problem, Rogers now says there is nothing more it can do, leaving the recording studio scrambling to find a way to coexist with the multi-billion-dollar corporation's cellular equipment. Multi-billionaires. Happy birthday, multi-billionaires. Multi-billionaires can get away with whatever they want to get away with, but the little people, they can't. You can't touch us. Nah, 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 nah. It's like they look for that loophole, but those same people that say that there's nothing that they can do, that they're in the parameters parameters, part of it. That's why I said the other day when I was reading things, like even your cell towers and stuff like that, all that needs to be fully investigated by independents, ones that are not affiliated with it, because they're all big corporations and they're all connected. The interference noise is very annoying, said Paul Silviola, studio manager at Armory Studios, adding, adding that a recording studio requires silent space to succeed. So if you're experiencing this, do you not realize that you're experiencing it within your home? But they say, oh no, that's not causing any, it's like, I don't care. They can say to their blue in the face that it's not causing disruptions within the people's bodies and brains and creating a cancer within them too, because it's causing a lot of physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual problems. How that causes it? It's causing a spiritual problem because it's affecting the spirit. It's the vibration, it's the frequency, and everything is spirit. So it's creating an interference within your energy field. Many of the studio's microphones are picking up high-pitched frequencies that compound as more microphones are in use. The feedback. I could take my microphone, okay, and I have a karaoke machine with music's going, and I take the microphone, and you take it, and you put that microphone that's on, you put it up towards that, and you hear that feedback. People expect the highest quality from use, and to have this outside noise coming in, it's just not fair, and it needs to be dealt with. See, with the way our cell phones are right now, right? They don't tell you everything. People don't know how to use their cell phones. Most people don't. And you can say you do, but there's a lot of stuff that you're not aware of unless you're the one that created it or invented it. I see that cell phones, they can connect directly from satellite to satellite, and it doesn't need that middleman. That middleman is to create a disruption, to cut it off so that they can say that you need this. But you don't. Because like I said, everything is an energy, and it's like it's bouncing. It's bouncing off here, it's bouncing off everything. So it's creating that disruption, and they're charging more for it. They're creating the problem. They charge you more for it because they say that, oh well, we got to do this, we got to do that, but they're creating the problem and like having people think that, oh, it's because more and more people are using cell phones. No, like this, like 5G. I was reading an article where it said about like keeping your stuff at 2.6, I believe it is, because you get a better quality. Don't take my word for what I say, because a lot of people say, "What qualifications do you have?" It's got nothing to do with qualifications. It has to do with common sense. whether people want to see it that way or not, because everything's got to be made so complicated so that the common man don't understand it. Oh, you don't understand anything because you have a low IQ. Yeah, the only thing that your IQ does for you is teaches you how to fucking manipulate people. Kira puto puti, when the shoe fits, wear it. Isa lang tatay. Just like, fuck, man, I want to tell them all. I might use your shit, but go fuck yourself because you're crooked bastards. Excuse my French. You may be thought like a fatherless person, but to me, that's not what it means. And it's not that it's like people say, well, you're calling people names and you say they don't judge. I'm saying that it's me. And they say, oh, they act like they're all heroes and now like they're actually not your none of this like this stuff that right now, if it's not made simple, it's not because nothing has to be as complex and as complicated as it is. It's only so that they can keep surveillance. But a lot of people already know that, and deep down, people know that, and they voice it, but it's like you forget about it 30 seconds later. Why? Because the interference. Like you get a headache, you feel ill. You go in. I'm going to say you go into a hospital. Okay? Is a hospital not supposed to be a place where you go to get well, to get better? How many has actually gone into an emergency? Okay? And all you can hear is buzzing. And you're sitting there, and all they have on is news to create anxiety and stress within the body. Because I know that there's been a lot of times where, like, I felt sick, I felt unwell, but when I went to these places, I felt worse than what I did when I first went in there. Like, anybody ever think about that one? I, because a lot of people they don't. But it's like I went last time I went to the emergency room, sitting in the room, and I just had to up and leave. I had to leave because all it was noise, and everybody's sitting there with their cell phones going and the ding 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 ding. The news going, oh, there's this many cases of COVID. I'm not mocking people who are paranoid of it or afraid of it. I'm saying that all this fear stuff creates a disease in your body because it's used as a frequency. Like I can't stand being in a hospital. It's the worst place to ever really be, especially if you are sensitive to sound or energies. Because the sound is all around and the energy's all around. Even if nobody's there, there's still energies. Because, people don't believe it, but the people that pass, like there's so many energies bouncing, energies and frequencies bouncing off each other. I went to the mall the other day. Shit, man. Like, holy crap. Like there's nowhere for it to go. It's like a freaking dome. And it just pressurizes. And then the music will play. Third-party investigations. Rogers has worked with the studio to try and fix the issue. The team at Emory, including studio technician Corey Dixon, or Dixon, Dixon, who led the initial investigation into the interference being caused by a frequency emitted by the nearby Rogers tower. So people lose business, and some people lose their marbles. You think of your, okay, you think of your brain, that when your brain is constantly, it's constantly going, okay? The ones that are always in your head, it's always switching the station, right? You're bouncing from one thing to the other, okay? It's the same idea. No, I'm not a neurosurgeon, but I do know from my own experiences of what I experience. And personal experience can be the best teacher. But you know, if I don't have a university degree or anything like that, oh, you don't know nothing. I know my body. Rogers hired a contractor to further investigate, and he confirmed the studio's suspicions. The hypothesis was confirmed by testing at the studio. Ecotax System, who conducted the investigation, wrote in a report. The report goes on to say that Rogers cell tower is generating powerful signal that nearby microphones, like those at Armory Studios, are unable to filter out. So if the studio is unable to filter that out, and they have the technology and what have you in order to be doing to do that, how do you think it's affecting your brain? C'est que la Diane, mais que tu peux laisser vous. You're the technology. People mock people who say about meditation and yoga to get into that Zen. Do you ever look at China? I know a lot of people for China, but a lot of those people they're very connected and in tune with things. Whether people like to hear that or not, a lot of them are said to be very intelligent. They get into that Zen because they go inside and they find the answers are very quick. Or sometimes it's to say that maybe like no, it's that being with one, finding the information more so within. It's like a genius, they call them. Kids are very connected. And if you have the right people within the family unit to keep you connected with that because they see that talent, then it continues to progress opposed to digress. We all come into this world knowing she tells us stuff, but we're told as a kid, oh, you don't know. During the investigation, Rogers powered down a section of the tower and the interference was eliminated. But on February 11th, the section of the tower was switched back on and the interference whizzed back to life. If this doesn't tell you something, then you need to really wake up. You may think that you don't believe this stuff, but ask yourself, how are you feeling? How is your family feeling? Do you actually listen to them? Or do you listen to billionaires who say, well, listen, this shows, and people can say, oh, well, that's just the news and everything's fake news. Not everything is fake news. A lot of things they'll tell you is fake news, even if it's true news. Because you notice it's going on both sides. Because it's playing one side against the other. But they're actually, in many ways, they're working together. Get a grin. Like right now, I'm feeling right here a headache. Because it's that part of the eye. It's all like, it's probably thin. In Canada, telecommunication companies are licensed by Innovation, Science and Economic Development, ISD, a federal government department, to operate within certain radio frequency spectrums. So that tells me they police themselves. They get to say what frequency is right and what frequency is not. It's a system. And I feel for the people who work for it and feel like, they gotta stay there because they have a family to feed and have bills to pay. For a lot of those people, they know the truth, but they feel like their hands are tied. And someone, they don't see anything wrong with it. The sad part is when it starts to affect you, you will see things differently. Because until something affects you, you never see it from that other person's point of view that's actually being affected by it. I may not have a big university degree in psychology or neuroscience or science or technology or anything like that. But despite the unintended interference, the investigation found that Rogers is operating within its parameters. But it's hurting people. We are unable to take any further steps regarding the matter of interference at Armory Studio, said Howard Sloaner, Vice President of Regulatory Telecom at Rogers, in a letter to the studio. See, the stuff is out there, but these $1 billion, $1 million, $1 trillion corporations and companies and that, and they're all working together. They're, give us your money. Give us your money. We don't give two shits about changes. Give us your money. Because you're never happy. Because money may give the assumption of being happy. And corporations, people say, oh no, they work together because they're all connected. And when someone like Nikola Tesla, because Tesla, that's not like they say it's Nikola Tesla's technology, but it's actually more. It's just using the name. Because you think of it this way, like people said, like about these Tesla cars, and a lot of it's like some of them, $50,000 for a fucking battery. And they're only said to be like they don't warranty them for what is it, more than a year or 5 years or something like that. $50,000 for a battery. And the person that told me about it, do I believe them on it? Yeah, I do. Like that for for me, that would be like, well, I could buy a few used cars out of that and give a car to people in my family for that price, and that's just for the battery. I have really no respect for people that are sitting on shit piles of money and saying about people being homeless, poor, hungry, unable to keep their homes and feed their children and elderly people eating cat and dog food because they've got to choose between eating and their medication. Meanwhile, shit like this is going on. I got two screaming. This has left Armory Studios in a position where it cannot operate at full capacity. So big corporations are allowed and left allowed to affect smaller businesses. And smaller businesses get shut down. People's livelihoods get shut down because of these people, because the law protects them and the people has no protection. Because, you know, it said the federal government, your government's got their hands in it. So that's why people are saying, wake up. You want change. You don't want this shit going on, but you don't want to speak up about it for fear of, you know, what's going to happen to you. It's like I know what they throw at me and bring it. You attack my brain. You try to manipulate me and send people after me, like people that would be, I said, to be my friends or something like that, because you like to control people. Do you think I don't feel that? Because when you're fully connected with your heart space, when you're connected with energies and all that, but a lot of people will say, "Oh, well, you're just like me." Go look it up. CIA has been training people to do this. A lot of them do it themselves. Do you ever notice, like, when you're out somewhere, and somebody will walk by, and then you end up going somewhere else, and it's like, what? Like, that person's there again? No such thing as coincidence, just synchronicities. We're full capacity. We're in an international studio, and this is what they're saying. We're in an international studio. We need the outside international clients coming in, but we cannot lie to them, said Salia. Dixon agrees. With this noise here, they will never be able to operate at the same capacity as they did before. It's just not possible, Dixon said. So, because billion-dollar corporations, trillion-dollar corporations, and they know what they're doing. Because as they do it, they know that it keeps people going, like it goes to them. I'm thinking if I don't talk, it's because I'm being directed to be centered. You set up the video, but again, replacing the equipment. In the letter, Roger suggests the studio replace all of the studio microphones that are experiencing interference. Why do these people have to do something about their stuff? Why don't you do something about yours? Because you know it'll still happen, and you'll say, "Oh, well, go change your equipment again." Well, how about you take down your fucking tower because you know it's causing interference because you know that what you're doing is wrong. You know you're causing harm. In addition to the financial costs of replacing the equipment, Dixon says it's an unrealistic solution, similar to asking a painter to use only 3 colors in his palette. It's art. We're creating art. And there are tools artists like to use and contribute to capturing the art that they want to create, said Dixon. This is true. Like, has anybody, okay, they live, really they live. Okay, a lot of people, they're familiar with Roddy Piper, okay? He's in it. And when I watched that, holy crap, man, I was glitching. And at the end of it, like they were wearing the sunglasses. Okay, it represented seeing. Okay, it represented what people call the third eye, the all-seeing eye, the third eye, like that. Okay, that's what they represented. People will come after. So watch the movie. It's on YouTube. They live. Roddy Piper. Okay, and at the end of it, what they ended up doing was they had to put out the towel. And that's the same as, did you ever watch The Cable Guy? Okay? At the end of it, he's always saying about the babysitter. Cable Guy. You have no identity because you're put in front of us. You're put in front of a TV and told, okay, this is your babysitter. This is where you're going to get your life experiences and your information. And in the movie, he didn't have any identity. He's always saying that he was this person or that person. And at the end of the movie, like he was totally like he was a mess up man. And at the end of the movie, he climbed up to the top. So he's asking people, my friend, when he climbed up to the top, before he jumped off, he said, somebody's got to kill the babysitter. And he and come right down on the part of the satellite that kills the frequency. So in the movie, he was sacrificing himself. And that's what that movie was telling people. The people just thought it was a movie. And did you notice at the end of that movie what they were watching? They were watching a trial, a murder trial of 2 brothers. I think there was something going on about that recently. 2 brothers, I don't know who the 2 brothers were, but I had something to do kind of like my family members back in 1791. They were tried for murder and they were hung, and I don't believe for one instant that they murdered anyone. Okay? And on the cable guy, okay, you think of when COVID first came out, and I don't care if people like me using that word or not, COVID. You're actually experiencing solar flares, and they're telling you that it's something else. But you're actually experiencing the energy from these solar flares, solar storms coming in, and it's affecting your body. But some people will say because they don't want you to know what's really going on. It was said to be called coronavirus. Corona, the outer layer of the sun, the corona, what's shooting the flares. It's laboratory air, but then it's getting interfered because they're different frequencies within your machines and stuff like that. Will somebody believe me? No, because I don't have a university degree. You know, even people with university degrees that are telling you this, you're still not fucking believing them because your mainstream tells you, oh, well, they're conspiracy theorists, they're quacks, they're this, they're that. They're not. They're the truth tellers. And those are the ones that get shut down, right? You say that to the certain microphones capture sounds in different ways. So yes, Leo says, adding that artists and producers expect studios to have a wide range of microphone options. We can't tell our clients that some of these popular microphones they can't use, he said. So why is somebody else's business supposed to suffer? Because they're greedy people that your government protects. You know, like why is your government taking your money and bailing out big corporations that you only paid, you know, if you can't understand what I'm speaking, allow yourself to experience the sound. Keep with fire. As an independent studio technician, Dixon says dozens of the studios here works within BC and Alberta have been recently experiencing sudden, unexplainable interference. See, right there, I just seen my camera shift. You think I don't know you're trying to interfere? This is spirit to spirit, and those people know who I'm talking to. He summarizes that the issue of interference from cell towers, which produce signals that continue to grow more powerful, is widespread. But they say these cell towers, oh, they're not hurting nothing. They're not. Like if people are wanting to shut down, it's not because they're terrorists. It's because they know what's happening. But they'll be called terrorists, and the true terrorists are the ones that's emitting these frequencies. But you know, you're up to them. Oh, well, you know, they give us our money. Or they pave our roads. No, they patch them. And then you're left with the expense because your car, the shit's being beat out of your cars. They're at their wits' end because they're going. I have they're at their wits' end because they're going. I have no idea what's going on here. Back at Armory Severe Civilria, Silveira, is hopeful Rogers will change its mind and continue to work towards a solution, although he admits it often feels like a Goliath-sized challenge. Goliath sized challenge. Why the small? Why small businesses and people suffering? It's because the people you trust are the ones fucking you over. And people really want to work for them. Maybe say that we need to work together and keep this conversation going instead of just putting up a wall like they have and saying it's not our problem. He says. So it's that part, we complain, but we don't. We, a lot of us, we just sit back and not say shit if we had a mouthful for fear we lose our jobs, what have you. It happens within the government. Like people will go on to work for the government or anything, and it's like they hold money over your head. They hold your livelihood. They hold money over your head. You got kids. Well, if you have no money, then or you feel like someone's going to come and take your kids, they have you in so much fear because fear is what keeps people in check. They say the needful inherit the earth. What is the need? Is it just sitting down and pulling up in a fucking ball and not saying shit if you have a mouthful and just saying it'll go away? I don't just think to myself, I see so like I look at the impact that this stuff has on my family and other people. I'm not throwing shade at people because I fully understand where you're coming from. It's that part of the bully. You think that little kids in the playground are bullies? The biggest bullies are the ones running their systems. They call us sins. We have sins. Yeah, you're fucking right. You have sins, and they're what's running your country or world. Systems integrated into society and keep you living in fear. That's the truth. It's not kids being in the playground so much. They're bullying each other, but it's a learned behavior because it's never been corrected. Because most, a lot of people, they don't want to speak up about it for fear of being targeted. Just look and say, hey, bring it. Because in the end, it's going to hurt for a bit, but eventually it will backfire on you. You're seeing it now, and it's just like, yeah, it's a circus all day. And the circus is keeping you distracted from what's real, what the truth is. And the majority of them are working together. There's ones in there, like they're looking to see what's going on, but they're censoring you. So it's like people say, I want my freedom, I want my freedom. Well, I'm here to tell you the way to freedom is standing up and speaking truth, standing up to the fucking truth. me standing up puts me in bad light for other people, then I guess you're not my people, are you? I guess you're not people who actually care about how I feel or what I bring forward. Because some of those same people that look at me the way they do now, they were the people that put me on this path. And for some reason, they're ridiculing and telling me, oh, I didn't say that. You're fucking right, you did. Сикоре которые старину повторяют, сукуру шересирует. People want me to bring myself down and not stand up. I've had somebody say, oh, well, it's not going to change the world. No, with that attitude, 1111, that attitude, no, it's not. You're not going to change the world with that attitude. But people who are not afraid to stand up and take the shit that gets thrown at them. The meat. Like I said, what does meat mean? Meat really here people. Everybody says a raccoon is meat. Okay? If a raccoon is meat, you think of a raccoon. Okay? And I've used this before. You think of a raccoon or anything, any animal. Okay. Most of the time, animals will run from people, right? They'll run from people until they feel like their livelihood or their children are being threatened. And they come out fight. They don't care what type of beating they have to go through. They stand up and fight for survival. And I'm not talking like they fight this way or that, but your voice, your words, your truth is a much bigger weapon. You may think that it's not, but physical violence just keeps physical violence going. But bringing truth forward, it opens ears and eyes. This is what spirit is. Your spirit. Your spirit is going to change the world that you know because it will change when you see it for what is really hard and what is happening and what they're doing to you and your family and friends. See, lots of people are going and helping different people in different states, different countries. That's bringing unity. That's where you're going to find change because that change is going to be the way you perceive things, the way you look at stuff. It's not going to be selfish for just yourself because every person out there is a version of you that you want that. What would you want for you? Right? Seriously, what would you want? You want people helping you, right? You want people standing up for you, but that's the problem. You've been living in the world of all for self. Yes, you have to be in a place where you can help people. But the first thing is finding your own inner strength. seeing your own truths, seeing what's really going on, and putting aside all that fear that it keeps you in, under thumb, and in a box filled with fear. So I say it's harder to be brave. Be yourself, be your authentic self. Allow yourself to speak up for yourself and others. Because I know most people want the same thing for themselves. They want somebody else to stand up for them. So how about, Red Rover, I call so and so over, and you're standing there holding hands, part of putting it out there for others to use their own discernment. It's not about like turning a blind eye. Because I've seen that. People will watch somebody else call someone down to the lowest. They say, well, it's not my business. It's like if you do that to your own family, you said, well, that's different. It's my family. I don't talk about the Bible much, but they said that Yeshua said that don't tell them anything. Do you ever think that maybe that was a test? Whether or not that you are still going to stand up because it's supposed to be your friend. It's supposed to be your family. Don't think of that. You only there. You're not. I know sometimes I should have had my stuff with me. I'm not always organized with everything. Like holy shit. Like most of the time I'm in my heart space and sometimes my mind just like, right now I'm here. It's that balance. My ad words, but oh well, it's let that on and give yourself something to work toward constantly. My religion consists of a humble admiration of the illimitable, superior spirit who reveals himself in the slight details we are able to perceive with our own frail and human. That being said, I send you all much love, light, and blessings, most importantly, very good health to anyone and everyone willing to receive and accept. I want you all to be bold, brave, most importantly, be yourself, be your authentic self, be true to yourself, be true to others, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and know that you have more strength than you can comprehend at times. Stand tall, speak the truth, and step out of the fear because fear is holding you back. Send you love. Send you to step again.